Hi guys, Kurt Provost here, your guide to all things NuSkin. I am in Australia, in the southern hemisphere, and so we are heading into winter. It's starting to get cold, and therefore that means our skin is starting to get dry and itchy. So, many people are beginning to ask about solutions for things like eczema, which is dry, itchy, flaky skin. It's painful, it's uncomfortable, and it's embarrassing. It's the double whammy, triple whammy. And so let's dive into possible solutions or products from NuSkin that may help alleviate that. First and foremost, I am of course not a trained medical professional. None of this is medical advice. I'm making no claims whatsoever. I'm just sharing my own personal experience, anecdotes, and information that can be commonly found by Googling this topic. So I'm only sharing common knowledge here. Please don't sue me. With that disclaimer out of the way, there are two different pathways to dealing with things like eczema. And that is, of course, internally and externally. Now, if you only choose one of those pathways, I hope it is the internal pathway, because that is the ultimate source of the issue. But the best way to go about dealing with this issue is, of course, taking both pathways. So yes, of course, you know specifically that you are allergic to a certain ingredient or substance that has been in contact with your skin and created the eczema. That is the minority. Most people start developing eczema because their skin barrier has broken down internally due to certain food allergies. So the best way to deal with that is to start cutting out the most common foods that create those sort of allergies. So things like dairy, gluten, some of the proteins that are found in really common grains now, because we have that monoculture thing happening where we're only consuming one thing, where we used to consume a variety of them and it's too much for the body. Also the fertilizers, the pesticides, all these different things in our food mean that there are a lot more allergies around than there used to be. Start wide and then narrow it down, becoming aware of what your body likes and what it doesn't like. For example, I found out when I was 18 years old, my body does not like gluten at all, and I cut it from my life around the age of 19. It took me about a year to wean off it, and I found out about that because I actually suffered from psoriasis around that age, and it took me a long time to deal with the psoriasis, and it wasn't until I found certain products from NuSkin and using both an internal and external approach I was able to eventually overcome it. Thank God for that, because it's an excruciating thing to go through. So I can really relate to anyone who's suffering from eczema or skin conditions like psoriasis as well. So once you're dealing with that, you want to be at the same time healing the cell membrane, healing the skin barrier. And the best way to do that, or one of the best ways to do that, is of course with essential fatty acids, with rich omega-3s. Make sure they are pure. Make sure they are from pristine sources, and the best possible way to do that is to use NuSkin's Omega. We have here in Australia Optimum Omega, or if you're in other parts of the world, there's Marine Omega. If you are using this supplement, Y-Span, or Youth in the rest of the world, it contains an incredible omega-3, so you'll be covering your bases there. It's also helping with the inflammation, so really beneficial on the internal side of this topic. And of course, all of NuSkin's supplements go through the 6S quality control process, which, to summarize it without doing a whole nother video on that, it means simply that the products are, number one, safe. They have what they say they have in them, and they don't have any nasty heavy metals or toxins, which is super important if you're going to be taking a supplement every day for the rest of your life. You don't want micro levels of toxins to build up within your system. So that is the advantage of NuSkin, is you know what you're getting. You know you're getting the purest of the pure. So that's dealing with the internal side, which is so important. As I said at the beginning, if you only choose one of the two pathways to deal with skin conditions, irritations, then I would recommend beginning with the internal side because it's the most important. Now, for the external, we have a number of different products that can help support and hydrate your skin using different humectants and natural ingredients found in the skin. The first one I'm going to talk about is, of course, Baobab Body Butter. Now, that's an alliteration that I really like. So I first had an experience with this product when NuSkin sent me on a reward trip to the US, and I was visiting Utah, and it's higher up, higher altitude than Australia, that's for sure. We're basically flat here, and it was cold and really dry. The air was super dry, so everyone who was on this trip was getting really itchy. So what did NuSkin do? Well, we opened up our hotel room and we found each of us a container of Baobab body butter sitting on the bed waiting for us. And boy, was that a fun experience because it smells so good. It feels so good. It's really rich and creamy. It's got shea butter. It's got urea in there, which is really hydrating for the skin. And just the smell of it makes me hungry. I don't recommend eating it. I tried. It's not the best flavor, but it's amazing for your skin. So not an internal product, it's an external product. So that is number one. Use that. That will really help hydrate and remove a lot of the tension and itchiness that comes with this skin condition. Next product I recommend is Sol Solution. This one here. This is designed for severely cracked heels. So you wouldn't expect me to recommend you to put it on other body parts. However, it is packed with a ridiculous amount of urea, an active ingredient that is extremely hydrating and healing for the skin. So this works wonders on cracked heels, but it also works wonders, or I've found it to be very effective for people who are suffering from things like eczema or psoriasis. It's very healing for those, particularly when they're very dry and very cracked. So give this a go. A little side note on this one, I actually use this. I'm starting to use it now because the air is drying out here and my lips are starting to crack. I use it at nighttime as a lip balm. And the third option came about through trial and error. As distributors are prone to do, we like to push the boundaries of what is recommended for product use and try out different things, different combinations, and see how they work. Well, there is a combination of 3 different products that works very well on things like eczema or psoriasis, and that is called Burke's Blend. I don't actually know who Burke is. I'm guessing it's the person who experimented with this and came up with the final formulation of this, but it includes, first off the rank is Enhancer. It's an aloe vera gel, very healing cream. I use it personally for things like sunburn because I'm a whitey. I get burnt all the time in Australia. This is fantastic for really making sure my skin doesn't peel. Anytime I burn my hands while cooking, this is the first go-to. It's great for cuts and bruises, scratches. Second one is, of course, Epoch Firewalker. It's packed full of different herbs, and it comes about because it was used in indigenous communities for those who were walking over hot coals and what they would use afterwards to help heal the feet. Then we've got Perennial Intense Body Moisturizer. This is perfect for winter time, for when it's dry. So when you combine all 3 of these together, you get Burke's Blend, and you apply that to the eczema or psoriasis or dry, cracked skin, and it's very restoring and healing. It will really help you in this process. At least that's what I've found from my own personal experience. Remember, this is not medical advice. Do not sue me, please. That's it for today, guys. I hope this has been helpful. These are the best solutions that I have found for things like eczema and psoriasis. It's totally worthwhile going through the slower pathway of healing internally while dealing with the signs and symptoms that are showing up externally with things like Burke's Blend or the products that I have mentioned in this video. If you need any help with this, if you've got any questions, just comment below or send me a message. My name is Kurt Provost, your guide to all things NuSkin. Like, subscribe, because I'm coming to you with a video tomorrow. Ciao, guys.